Fear. Not what we're really talking about, but I got to lead into it. Fear is a good thing. Fear keeps you out of trouble. Now, and they even say the fear of the Lord leads us to wisdom. Some people, and I agree, they say that fear is a lack of faith, but they're forgetting one thing. Fear is necessary. It's a necessary part of life. It stops us in our tracks sometimes and keeps us headed in the right direction. But the problem with fear is when it is accompanied or created by this next monster. We're going to bounce it in there. It's like a ball. Boom, 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 boom. Doubt. Doubt. Doubt is the working of the enemy. It's the faith that we believe and we have that is a good thing. But what weakens it and destroys it is the doubt that comes after the belief and the faith. We can stand there and believe and have faith, but in the next moment, we start doubting the outcome. And the doubt leads to the fear, leads to the worry. But it's the doubting that comes. Deuteronomy, oh, I love that, 28, 65, 67. Deuteronomy, this verse right here, will tell us what happens when we hang in doubt. Because I know everyone in this room believes. And I know everyone in this room has faith. The problem is when we hang in doubt with our faith. Among those nations you shall find no rest. When we doubt, we find no rest. Nor shall the sole of your feet have a resting place. We have no true home, no space of serenity, peace, and love when we doubt. But the Lord will give you and when you hang in doubt, you will have a trembling heart, failing eyes, blind to the truth, only seeing what you see through the eyes of doubt, and the anguish of your soul that connects you with God. You will lose that connection when you have doubt. And it goes on to say, your life shall hang in doubt before you. Hang in doubt before you. All these things will happen as your life hangs in doubt. And you shall fear. With the doubt comes the fear. Night and day. Fear is ongoing. Doesn't matter if it's day or night. It's there. And you will have no assurance of life. Life ever after. So it's not that we don't have faith. It's not that we don't believe. It's that we choose to doubt that belief and that faith that we have. And make no mistake about it. To doubt is a choice we make. And that is the blessing that the Lord put in my spirit as He put this all together for me. Doubting is a choice that we all make. We choose to doubt. And moving forward, I have made a commitment to myself not to doubt. When it comes, I shut it off. I shut it down. Control your thoughts. The Bible speaks about that. I shut it down. I choose not to doubt so that it won't poison and weaken my belief and my faith. Matthew 14:31-32. So what happens when we have faith? without the doubt. And immediately, y'all know about this, we don't have to go through the whole thing. Peter walking on water. And immediately Jesus stretched out his hand and caught him. Now some people will say, you know, he took his eyes off of God. Well, yes, when you doubt, your eye is not on God, because doubt is not from God. And said to him, "O you of little faith, why did you doubt?" Right there. Didn't say he didn't have any faith, didn't say he believed. Said he had little faith. Because he doubted. He chose to doubt. He chose to allow the thought of doubt to come into his mind. And when they got into the boat, the wind ceased. Moral of that story is, all of that doubt for nothing. It's something we create in our own minds. We expect the worst outcome. Because we're usually holding on to something of the flesh that we're afraid of losing. That we know is not of God, it's of us. And we're afraid to lose it. We start doubting the outcome because we're in the flesh. And whatever was, you know, perceived as the worst outcome, usually what happens? Don't even happen. Lord comes through again. That's what we say. Lord came through again. But he was going to come through anyway. It was going to happen anyway. It was his plan and his will. He just showed us once again, we are of little faith. Why? Because we choose to doubt. Matthew 21:21-22. So Jesus answered and said to them, "Assuredly I say to you, if you have faith," I never even looked at this before, "and do not doubt." He says it right there. If you have faith, bam, and do not doubt. That's the most important part. Because we have faith, but we choose to doubt. If you have faith and do not doubt, you will not only do what was done to the fig tree, but also if you say to this mountain, "Be removed and be cast into the sea," it shall be done. So it's not so much as the people in this room have the faith. We've got to remember, we can't bring the doubt with the faith. That's what stops the mountain from being moved. And it's the doubt that creates the mountain oftentimes. And the holding on to something of the flesh that maybe might even be an idol that we put before the Lord. That's why we shift from the spirit to the flesh. Because it's the idol, which is about the flesh, which shows us that that truly is the most important thing. It's not about God, it's about us. What we want, what we think we need, which Jesus already told us he's going to deliver to us all the things we need. So it's really something we want. It's something we treasure. It's one of those items. But it's the doubt that creates the mountain. But if you have faith with no doubt, the mountain goes away. Now we all have those moments of a mountain in front of us that appears to be insurmountable. And we wonder, how in God's name is it going to turn out good? How are we going to maintain ourselves? How can we get through this? They say the Lord will never give you more than you can handle. But we question if he miscalculated on this one. Because this one is the big one. But that's just doubt. That's all it is. And we've got to, beat down that flesh. We've got to train that flesh. We've got to take control of our mind and erase the doubt. we've got to choose not to doubt. Because in the doubting comes the weakening of our faith. And now we can't walk on the water. And whatever things you ask for in prayer, believing, you will receive. Can't have any doubt. Got to believe 100%. Shut the doubt out of the equation. Turn it off like a switch. Right off. And as long as it's in with the will of the Lord, His plan, and if you believe that the Lord loves you and trust God 100%, if you know God is bigger than any problem that you have, then you know His will be done. He will not drop you. Amen. The world drops you. God does not drop you. He picks you up. He carries you and He brings you home. He does not abandon you. He is always there. But when we choose to doubt, we are no longer at that moment the friend. We have separated. Our soul is in anguish. We have no rest. We worry and stay up all night. We have no peace. And we see our lives hanging in the doubt, day and night, suffering. All of our own creation. All of our own creation. Bing! That was the King James. LeBron James, that's what we're doing. He just bounced it in there for us. 2 Kings 2:9. Backing around, bam. And so it was, when they had crossed over, that Elijah, great prophet, said to Elijah, another great prophet, ask what I may do for you before I am taken away from you. And this is one of the things that I've added to my prayers to the Lord about the Holy Spirit and the anointing. Because Elijah said, now he asked me one thing, tell me what you want. Okay. Please let a double portion of your spirit be upon me. He asked for a double portion. I'm starting to ask for a double portion. I'm being greedy about this now. I want a double portion of that Holy Spirit. If there's such a thing, I want it. Because I want to be able to have faith with no doubt. I want to be able to shut my mind down and make that choice and erase wherever it's coming from, because it's coming from up there somewhere. I want to be able to erase it and boom, it's gone. No doubt. You know, and the funny thing is, the athletes train themselves to do this when you think about it. Because they know if they don't believe and they don't have 100% belief with no doubt, as soon as they doubt, they know the outcome is not what they're going to want. They're not going to win or get the prize. They know that. They train themselves to be like that. They train their minds. We got to start doing that as Christians. Pray for that double portion. Because Job 11:7 tells us right now why it's in the bag. You know what we mean when we say it's in the bag? We got it. It's done. You know, if somebody tells you it's in the bag, you stop doubting. Because you know, you got it. It's hooked up, covered. Can you search out the deep things of God? Can anybody here search out the deep things of God? Can you find the limits of the Almighty? Heck no. That's how amazing our God is. No one in creation can search out the deepest things of God. They're trying. They got it on TV, in the movies, but they ain't got there yet. And even when they get there, there's something deeper. There's always going to be something deeper. And can anyone define the limits of our God? Is there any problem that is bigger than God? Please, someone in this room tell me a problem that is bigger than God. We serve the Almighty with no limits, no boundaries. Nothing is beyond His capabilities. It's hard to even fathom that as human beings, but that is the truth. That is our faith, that is our belief. And now we can choose with that double portion of the Holy Spirit not to doubt. Now we have the power. Zechariah. So for all of you people who have been doubting, and that's everybody in this room, because the Lord told me before I gave this sermon, that here it is right here. I want you to give this as a personal message from me through you to them. Everyone that's been doubting, know this. Return to the stronghold. Return to the stronghold. We've been there because He's taken us out of Egypt how many times? He's delivered us from the worst storm of our lives how many times? He's done it repeatedly, over and over again. He is the stronghold. He does not need our help. He does not want our help. He wants us to submit to His will and help. And now when you submit, that does not mean you are in submission. Submission is defeating. This is not defeat. This is to submit, which means you are taking a higher road and no longer saying, I am God and I know best. But you're emptying yourself and receiving the knowledge and the love and the will of the Lord. And you are submitting and using your intelligence and spirit to submit to something that is greater than you. And you are empowering yourself to a higher level of learning, to a higher level of living. That is what we are submitting to. It's not submission. We are submitting. It's a choice. And He says, return to the stronghold, you prisoners of hope. When we doubt, we hope. Sometimes our hope can become a prison. Because what got us to the hoping was the doubting. Because when we're hoping, we don't know. It's not in the bag. So the Lord's saying, don't rely on the flesh. Don't be fearful of the world. Believe and have faith without the doubt. Don't have to hope. You got to know. You got to have faith and believe with no doubt. So return to that stronghold. No longer be a prisoner to your own flesh. Even today, if you do that, the Lord is telling everybody in this room today, even today I declare, even today, that I will restore double to you. So if today you can decide to eliminate the choice of doubt and have the faith without the doubt, you will be restored with a double to you. That is the message from the Lord. You walk out of here today, you have no doubt, you shut it down, you'll be restored to double. Where you wanted to be, or where you used to be, or where you felt double Because you know when the Lord delivers you from that fire, you know he restores you too. We all know that. Anybody been delivered in this room knows about the restoration to a place where you never even dreamed of. Well, now we're going to, that's 101. College 101, now we're going to 303. This is 303 stuff right here, okay? We done delivered and restored, but now he's talking about, you know what, there's even more. He's saying to you right now, you take that doubt out, and we're going to double that up. You think you're doing good now, we're doing good at a certain time, we're going to double that up. There it is.